People of the verse, hello and welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and in this video we are going to take a look at some of the features that we'll get to experience one day in the verse that I think are going to dramatically change our overall experience within the verse. And as I made this list of 10 upcoming features, I realized that there were quite a few that were coming faster or sooner than I had imagined. So I hope that this video will get you as excited as I am, because here we go. Let's talk about 10 features that will take Star Citizen to the next level right after these messages. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks, such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later. Number 10, Reputation. This is a feature that a lot of people are very excited about. Salty Mike did a very good rant a while back about how reputation will add value to our gameplay, and I think that he is absolutely right. Right now, everything we do is pretty much meaningless apart from perhaps making money to purchase ships and components. Successfully completing a mission or failing it doesn't change anything in regards to how factions or mission givers perceive us, and overall, working in the verse in order to gain the favors or X, Y, or Z is useless because there isn't anything to gain anyway. The only thing there is to gain is money, but if you take a look at how much money you earn versus how much money it takes to complete the missions, including traveling to the mission giver, it's just not hard to quickly realize that it's simply not worth it, and that you are better off trading or mining or even taking a bunch of mercenary missions. This will change starting from Star Citizen 3.12 and the introduction of the first iterations of a true reputation system, which will also enhance mission chains, availability, difficulty, and payouts. Miles Eckhart's missions have been for quite some time the prototypes of such improvements, and if you enjoyed his missions, well, the good news is that this type of chain missions will be generated to all mission givers except for Ruto, and personally I can't wait to try them out. Number 9, iCache. I would normally have put it much further up the list given its importance for the future of the game. I mean, in case you've never heard of iCache, it's basically the tech that will allow items to persist in the game, no more no less. Just to give you an idea of the scale of importance of iCache, it's going to be what will allow an empty bottle dropped by you to be found again at the same exact place, for example. It's also what is going to save your millions of alpha UECs spent on cargo when the server you're in decides to die and you'll have to connect again. Right now, when the dreaded error 30,000 or 30k strikes, you are losing all of the assets that were with you at that specific period of time. Your cargo, your minables, and even potentially your ship, which may end up being lost in an insurance loop if the game system lost track of its status before the server crash. With iCache, you'll be respawning exactly where you were with the ship and the cargo that you had, and your progress will be saved. I think that in the end, it is safe to say that iCache is definitely one of the items that will truly turn this tech demo that we currently have into an actual game. Number 8, server meshing. Server meshing will be the last piece of the puzzle needed for CIG and to finally call Star Citizen a game. It is the piece of tech that will allow the developers to open the floodgates of content they have been diligently working on while waiting for it to be ready. Right now, game servers are already at a near saturation point, and it is getting increasingly difficult for CIG to add new content without removing features on the other side. That is why we haven't gotten the Pyro system in 2020, and we probably won't see it until late 2021 as well. Now, for those of you who may be new to the project, server meshing is the tech that will allow several servers to convey their data within one single instance. It will allow the increase of our current player cap of 50 to several hundreds, if not several thousands. It will also allow the game to finally become a proper simulation, as it will finally become a united universe. For example, right now, if you decided to blockade the trade outpost of Ariel above Hurston, then it will only affect your own servers, and players leaving your server to jump to another quieter server will be able to trade just fine, and your blockade would not be very effective. With server meshing, that blockade would have affected every single trader wanted to make money, and it wouldn't be long until a militia group would form to try to play the heroes and liberate the moon. Server meshing thus promises a ton of exciting moments, and just like every other backer out there, I am very eagerly waiting for it. Number 7, jump points. To be finally able to leave the standard system and get to explore new horizons, we will first need server meshing, which will then enable the implementation of jump points. Those are basically wormholes that connect two solar systems together. I believe that jump points and the ability to travel to other star systems is going to revolutionize how we perceive distances in the verse, because right now, as we are stuck within the standard system, a trip from, say, Crusader to Macrotech would be considered as being long distance. With jump points and the introduction of systems even larger than System, that trip will be seen as a mere walk to a nearby park. And with Paro almost being completed and Nyx's only landing zone done a long time ago, we can already envision trips from Macrotech to Levski transiting through Paro becoming a thing in the not so distant future. When this happens, the days of 3.0 when we thought that the trips from Port Orizar to Jumptown took a long time will be long gone. Number 6. Medical gameplay. The introduction of medical gameplay will take us one step closer to Chris Roberts' vision of death of a spaceman. Let's be honest, as of now, our lives in Star Citizen do not have any value, with some people going as far as committing suicide in order to respawn where they wanted to go, thus saving them the time it takes to travel back there. Once medical gameplay starts being implemented, this little trick will just not be possible anymore, as the consequences for dying, or at least getting in a situation in which your health status goes down to 0, will be far too important. I mean, we're talking about possible debuff, substance addiction, and even permadeath. With medical gameplay, when this comes online, our actions will thus become significantly more meaningful, and I am sure that most of us will think twice before picking a fight in the verse. Number 5. Wildlife. We know that wildlife is coming at some point in the future, and this is something that has been discussed quite early in this project. I mean, I think that anyone who remembers the Sandworm demo knows what I'm talking about. We then saw those weird flying pods on Hurston during CitizenCon 2017, and further down the line we were introduced to the Terra Space Cows, the Pyro Crabs, the Crusader Flying Whales, and the Macrotech Yetis. Quite a program indeed. And I don't think that these creatures will be created for the sake of adding flair to the verse's multiple planets environments. They will in fact play a key role in the game's future crafting economy, as hunters or explorers will be paid to bring back to civilizations hardened carcasses for the creation of unique extra-resistant pieces of armor, specific organs that could be used for the creation of super rare performance enhancement drugs, or simply some exquisite meat that the elite of the verse would eat at some of Terra's most exclusive restaurants. Wildlife will thus offer players plenty of opportunities, and will certainly make the game more exciting for all of us. Number 4. Quanta. First introduced to us during the 2019 CitizenCon, Quanta is the back-end simulation that will truly bring life to the verse. It is the matrix that will simulate the game's economy, as well as the lives of millions of non-playable characters or NPCs, creating dynamics such as supply and demand, job creations, criminality, authority responses, and even wildlife creatures going about their businesses. Quanta is therefore an essential pillar required to take our current tech demo to a state that would allow us to call it a game. Quanta is definitely a huge part of the grand vision of the Star Citizen project, and I believe that its implementation will make a difference as important as object container streaming did when it came online during 3.3. Number 3. Player bases. One of the most exciting upcoming features for a lot of backers out there is the possibility to own real estate assets in the verse that will persist and will allow players to call it their home. Not only that, but Chris Roberts and his team have also said that multiple times that they would like players to also run their own production facilities as well, such as farms or mining facilities. These outposts will represent fantastic gameplay opportunities for a lot of players, as they will have to be supplied and their production will have to be sold. That means that there will be a lot of new cargo hauling opportunities when we are finally able to have them in the game, but also more risks involved, as not every facility will be located in protected space, which means that those particular locations will offer plenty of opportunities for pirates who will be quite inclined to target such potentially easy prey. And then they will have security companies that will certainly be hired by the owners of those outposts to defend their installations and secure their profits. When we could even imagine businesses trying to damage a REVOL installation by ordering its destruction in order to secure high sale prices. Player bases will there involve so much more, and I am sure that owning an outpost will be very exciting in the game, and that is definitely going to take it to another level too. Number 2, Alien Worlds. Leaving human space to enter Xi'an or Banu territory is surely going to be quite an unforgettable moment for long-time backers who will have been used to being surrounded by familiar environments for almost a decade. And yes, it's crazy to see how time flies. Each major alien race is going to feature its own unique designs, culture, laws that may be quite different from the ones that you have been used to, and of course, language as well. And this is what I am the most excited about, the idea of having to learn the basics of an unknown language if you want to get around wandering off the beaten path. And this makes me think of my own life here in Taiwan, where everything is in Chinese, and once you get away from touristic areas, and I had to learn Chinese on my own if I want to communicate with people or even read basic information. And I hope that we'll actually get to have the same kind of experience in Star Citizen when we set foot on Xi'an on Banu worlds. I mean, after all, CIG did hire a linguist for the creation of those languages, so we better get our own backers' money worth by having genuine linguistic experiences in the verse. As a linguist myself, I think that it is quite fantastic. And number 1, crafting. And last but not least, we ought to mention the most important element of a massively multiplayer online game that is scheduled to feature a dynamic economy, and that is, of course, crafting, or the ability to create objects within the verse. Now, I don't think that it would be possible to craft fine products like armors or ship components, because these require a level of engineering and complexity players could never dream of having. But, as it was mentioned earlier, players will have the ability to own farms or grow crops, so one could assume that some of the current commodities that are available for players to purchase, such as food rations or distilled spirits, could be produced by players. We can also imagine that some players will be able to create their own drug labs, which is also something that would definitely form a lot of emergent gameplay as well. And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for spending the time watching it. Before we wrap this up, I would like to know which one of these features you are particularly expecting. I know that it's hard to choose one, but if there is one that stands out from the rest, please let me know in the comment section down below. Also, I wanted to give a big shout out to Choco Frownies, as well as Chris A, and also Pixel Parrot for becoming my latest Patreon members, and everyone else who supports me on Patreon via the join button as well. Your support keep the lights on, and especially kept me motivated to continue as if nothing was happening, despite Google charging me money to create content in October. Have a wonderful day, everyone, or a wonderful night wherever you are, my friends. Take care. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.